Hello and welcome to Before the Storm, Town Hall Theater's companion to our fundraising production of FantasticLand. My name is Briel Pomerantz, and I play Miranda Tots in FantasticLand. I was in episode 2, but for tonight, I'm your host and moderator, and I'm so pleased to be part of this fundraising event for Town Hall's theater production of FantasticLand. It is literally my hometown theater and one of my theatrical homes. So tonight, joining me are Shauna Satnick, who plays Clara Ann Clark.
Hello.
And Lexi Stein, who plays Louise Musgrove. So welcome, lovely humans, and let's get to some questions. Since you are both actors in the piece, my questions will be posed to both of you, and so feel free to jump in when you have an answer. So first, how did you hear about this project, and what drew you to it?
Lexi, why don't you go?
Yeah, so I heard about it through, I think, one of the Bay Area theater Facebook groups. I don't currently live in the Bay Area, but I used to. And I'm still a lurker, and just the premise of it, I love thriller novels, and like seeing so many characters who are, around my age, that always makes for an exciting audition opportunity. And then when I read the book during the audition process, that's when I was completely sold.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I had a similar experience in that I read the book as well and was like, this is very interesting. And then I was actually in a show when the shutdown started due to COVID with Michelle Iannero, who wrote the script. And so I was like, okay, the book is good. I know Michelle. I like working with Michelle, and saw those postings and was like, all right, like, might as well give it a shot. And then I read the script, and I really enjoyed the format of the script, and that it was written for a visual context rather than a normal play or a musical adapted to be in a virtual context. So I thought that was really interesting, and I was just drawn to it cosmically, if you will.
Wonderful. So without giving anything away, can you tell us a little bit about your characters and if you identify or relate to them in any way, or if you don't? Let's start with you, Shauna.
Sure. So I play Clara Ann Clark, the leader of the Shop Girls. And for those of you who aren't as familiar with the series or haven't caught up yet, there are different tribes throughout the park, and one of the tribes are the Shop Girls. And as the leader of the tribe, I'm trying to dance around this not to give anything away, but she has very murderous tendencies and kind of falls into that sort of archetype. And I am very happy to say I do not identify too much with that character. So it's definitely a challenge acting wise, not only given like the space that I was acting in, but also the character and trying to get into the mind of someone who can justify murdering people, because not a normal train of thought for me. So yeah.
Great. And you, Lexi?
Louise, she is definitely a big geek, which is the part I probably most identify with. She's one in the Deadpool tribe, and she's really into, the D&D epic stories, stuff like that. She isn't very aggressive in the park, I will say that. She's also not the most empathetic person. So that is something I'd like to think I'm a little bit of a better person than Louise, but she's very fun to play.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. So what was your favorite part of rehearsing and filming from home? And then maybe what were some challenges you faced? Let's start with you, Lexi.
Yeah, I'm happy to start. My favorite part of rehearsing was actually we had these rehearsals where we had individual ones with Allie, and then we'd also have ones with everyone in our tribe. And so the Deadpool group rehearsals were my personal favorite. It was so much fun. We did some improving, established relationships. Like maybe in the actually canonically, Louise might not have known Jill and Allie all that well. But in these improv sessions, I was just such a quick way to establish characters and have these very clear images in my mind of who these people were. Maybe like were some of the harder parts about filming myself was difficult. It's always, we get better at it the longer we're like doing virtual theater, but that's hard. I used a teleprompter for my recording. I did not memorize all of it, and I kind of wish I did, because using a teleprompter, like trying to space out the paragraphs where I want to take more time, that whole thing was kind of a little bit of a nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, it was bizarre kind of filming in my bedroom, because that's not normally a place that I put on a theater production. So just kind of like mentally adjusting but like mentally adjusting to that and being able to get into character while being in like Shauna's space, not like necessarily Clara's space. So I think that was a little bit of the challenge, is trying kind of transitioning, especially because I like work during the day, is like transitioning from, well, I'm sitting at my desk working, and now I'm sitting at my desk being Clara. And so kind of it took a while for me to get into character and to really get into that theatrical space. I did really enjoy, well, it's kind of a double-edged sword. So as a perfectionist, I really liked the idea that I could take a line or a page of text and do it over and over and over and over again until it was perfect. But also as a perfectionist, there was never that perfect take. So it was a bit of a double-edged sword in that I was like, great, I can do this as many times as I want. And then it was a little bit of, oh, I can do this as many times as I want. But I overall really enjoyed kind of learning that virtual theater process and really taking advantage of it while I can. I mean, I don't know how long virtual theater will be around, if this will be a vestige or if it will be part of the canon. So I'm really excited that I got to experience it for however long it is around. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And Shauna, did you have any sort of group rehearsal similar to Lexi? Because that's something that I didn't actually get to experience because I'm not part of a tribe.
Yeah, I didn't. Lexi, as I was hearing you talk about that, I'm like, I'm thinking of like other shop girls in the show. And then I was kind of thinking of like, oh, well, Clara was very, I guess, disconnected from a lot of the people in her tribe. It was very much Clara was on top and everyone else was beneath her. So I would be curious to find out if the shop girls had a little Zoom session all together without me. Just like TFT, no. But it would be interesting because I'm just picturing like if there was a whole session with all the other shop girls, giving Clara's character and personality and just how she acted in the park. I see it being a very one-sided Zoom conversation. I'll just put it that way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Great, thank you. So what are you working on now, if anything? And then how can people follow you? Do you have websites or social media that people can follow?
Yeah, well, as many actors, I'm auditioning for stuff all the time. And given the world and how it's ever evolving, new things are coming up left and right. And that's just kind of how it goes. But you can check out all my upcoming projects on shaunasatnick.com, which will have the most recent updates. And then I do strategic planning on the side for theater companies. And so even though that's not an acting position, it still relates to theater. So I am constantly working with companies and helping them reorganize and re-strategize their theatrical mission statements, especially in the time of COVID and post-COVID. And people can reach out to me and find out about that as well. But that's kind of what I'm working on.
Wonderful. Thanks, Shauna. How about you, Lexi?
Yeah, that's very cool. I currently, a couple of projects I'm working on. I've been doing these live readings for a soap opera, a kind of voiceover-ish, and one of them is this coming like Thursday and Sunday, and then I'm also in this very fun comedy with a New York theater company. Actually, one of the benefits of virtual theater, I've done DC shows, New York shows. It's very cool. But all of my information I post about on my Instagram, which is Lexi_Stein. So you can find me there.
Great. Well, I hope everyone out there can follow you both, and it sounds like some upcoming fun things. So question about the horror genre. So FantasticLand, if people are unaware, again, it is a bit of a horror genre in its nature. Is that something you enjoy? And if so, what is your favorite movie or book or any sort of other genre, comic, anything in that genre, if it's something you enjoy, or is it something you don't? And this was a stretch.
I can go first. Horror movies scare me a lot. That being said, the ones that I can stand tend to be like psychological thrillers, suspense. The Shining is one of my favorites. And I really, the only books I read are like thriller books. I don't know if I have any specific titles. I kind of just like anything with a female protagonist. Yeah, but working on horror has been awesome. I mean, I've always wanted to do something like this. And this is not your traditional, like scream queen kind of running around thing, but it's just, it's so different. You're watching it unfold after it's already happened, and yet it's still, the characters are still alive, obviously the ones that are talking, but it's just written so well. I don't know, there's still mysteries throughout it, and the way that it's put together, it's just such an exciting show.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Shauna?
Honestly, horror things scare the living bejesus out of me. I'm a giant scaredy cat. So I have not engaged with the horror genre on my own for extracurricular enjoyment. I will say, however, though, working on it, and never having worked in a horror genre, let alone do anything else with it, I have really enjoyed that experience. It's definitely a lot more fun kind of knowing how it will end before you watch it end. So I've definitely enjoyed working in it. And then to answer your question before about books and other sort of shows, even though this isn't technically a horror book, but it is written by the king of horror himself, I really enjoy Stephen King's 11/22/63. Which is a bit of a historical fiction novel, like what would happen if JFK wasn't assassinated.
Did they make a mini series of that with like James Franco? I think
so. I haven't seen it, but I think they did. Yeah,
a television event on Hulu or something.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the closest I can say I've gotten to enjoying something in the horror adjacent genre, just by virtue of who the author is.
Right, totally. Yeah, I mean, I relate to both of you. I'm not a big horror fan either, but the things that I like are either psychological, like thrillers. I really love like detective shows. I've been watching a lot of British detective shows, like Luther and DCI Banks, and there's a bit of that like thriller genre to it. But also then old horror movies that are so outlandishly fake, like The Omen, where like someone's head gets cut off and it's clearly a mannequin. Like those I'll enjoy to like laugh at, but I have to be so removed that they're like so fake, and then I can handle them. If not, I'm scaredy cat too.
Yeah, kind of like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, where it's like meant to be this horrific tomato field attacking people. Like that I can deal with, because I'm like, okay.
Yeah. All right. So we have a question from the audience for both of you. What is a dream role? And I know, Shauna, you do a lot of musical theater. I don't know if you do that as well, Lexi, but it could be in plays or in musical theater. Or maybe you want to do a film. That you do you.
I would say, so because as Briel, as you said, I do mostly musical theater, I definitely have a lot of dream roles surrounding musical theater. I would say that playing, even though it's no longer on Broadway or running anywhere, playing Natasha in Natasha Pierre in The Great Comet of 1812, that's my favorite musical of all time. So to be able to play any role in that would be just a complete dream come true. But of course, there are like the other classic, like playing Elphaba. I mean, I wouldn't complain. That would be pretty darn cool. Yeah, those. I'm gonna stick with Natasha from The Great Comet.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I don't know. I always have, Shakespeare, Beatrice, and Much Ado About Nothing. I did a lot of Shakespeare in college, so I have those dream roles. I love performing in comedies the best. One that I can't play yet, one of my favorite old plays is Arsenic and Old Lace, and there are these two wonderful old women who, poison people in it, and I have a friend and I who, like, when we're old enough to play these roles, we have a pact that we have to do the show. And play these two roles because they're wonderful. So that's a dream role that can't be fulfilled quite yet.
Yes, I have a couple roles I need to age into as well. the nature of things. Wonderful. So I don't see any other questions from the audience. Do you guys have any questions for each other? Any questions or to me? Any questions that you have? So this was also asked in the last one, and I have so many that it's hard to say. I think I might have aged out of Tracy in Hairspray, but that's always been a dream role of mine. And when I grow into it, a little Mama Rose from Gypsy. So, in maybe 10 years, we'll see. And then, we have to be able to do live theater again. So
just that small caveat.
That little thing. All right. Well, I don't see other questions of the audience yet. There might be ones that pop up, but we'll move on to our trivia. So we're going to be 3 questions this time. And I'm going to give you an A, B, or C choice. And okay. Who gets the most correct answers of the 3 questions will get a special award.
All right.
So the first question is, many of the characters in FantasticLand really miss social media in the aftermath of Hurricane Sadie. According to hashtags, what is the most Instagram location in the world pre-pandemic? You want that caveat, pre-pandemic. So A, Disneyland, B, the Eiffel Tower, or C, Oktoberfest?
Okay, I think I have my response.
Okay, go ahead. Shout it out.
I think it's A, Disneyland.
You think it's A? What do you think, Lexi?
I was also going to guess A, but I don't know if it's just my network not having a lot of people who've been to Europe.
All right, let's say you both say A? A is correct. It is Disneyland. Disneyland properties also top the list of Facebook check-ins. The Eiffel Tower is number 2, and Oktoberfest is number 10. Also included in the top 10 is the Las Vegas Strip, Big Ben, the Berlin Wall, and Times Square. All right, you each got a point.
All right.
In upcoming episodes of FantasticLand, we'll learn more about the pirate. What was the notorious pirate Blackbeard's real name? So what was Blackbeard's real name? A, Bartholomew Robert. B, Edward Teach. And C, George Louser. Just shout it out when you have an answer.
I'm going to go with Bartholomew because it sounds like it could be a pirate. That's the only clue I have.
Great. Okay, so Shauna guesses A, Bartholomew Robert.
I'll go with B.
B, Edward Peach. All right, Lexi got this one. It is Edward Peach.
Wow.
Edward Peach was born in Bristol, England in 1680. 1680. He was reported to have tied lit fuses under his hat to strike fear in the hearts of his enemies. And I believe we have an illustration of Blackbeard. Michelle, you want to put that one up? Oh, there he is. That scoundrel.
Okay.
All right. Michelle also wanted me to let you know that all those people I mentioned, all the names are actually all real pirates.
Oh.
So,
wow.
They had,
I want to meet a real pirate.
I don't think so. All right, last question. Lexi's in the lead. Kennywood Park, located in West Mifflin, Pennsylvania, is home to a subterranean roller coaster known as A, the Exterminator, B, the Claw, C, Phantom's Revenge.
These are great questions.
Yeah.
Just going to put that out there. Can you read the options again?
Sure. So this is the name of a subterranean roller coaster in West Mifflin, Pennsylvania, in Kennywood Park. A, the Exterminator. B, the Claw. C, Phantom's Revenge.
God.
I thought reading them again would help.
I feel like my instinct is Exterminator, like, oh, rodents underground, but is that a red herring? Is it? And then there's a claw ride at Legoland that's above ground, so that's throwing me off.
That's true. I feel like all of these are rides. Just which one?
Yes.
I'm gonna go with the Exterminator.
I also want to go with the Exterminator.
We'll do it together. We'll go with it together.
Okay.
All right.
You both are correct. The Exterminator.
Yay!
The Exterminator is a subterranean dark ride and roller coaster in one with speeds up to 29 miles per hour and 50-foot drops. The ride concept is that the rider is a rat attempting to escape the Kennywood Park exterminators. And so we also have a picture of that, in case you're curious.
Oh.
The Exterminator!
Yeah. Wow.
Pennsylvania.
I know. West Mifflin. So if you ever find yourself in West Mifflin, Pennsylvania, check out Kennywood Park for the experience. Now, speaking of roller coasters, do you guys like roller coasters? Are you roller coaster enthusiasts? Or are you like not so much?
I mean,
because I can tell. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I like kind of traditional sort of roller coasters, but then there are certain roller coasters that are like there's one at Six Flags down in Southern California called, I think it's Viper, and it has something like 8 loops in a row, which would not be something that under normal circumstances I would enjoy. But I really like that ride. So that's kind of like the red herring on that front. But I like kind of traditional is fine. I don't like the droppy ones. The ones that like go like, was it Superman that like goes all the way up and then drops immediately? Yeah, not so much.
Yeah. What about you, Lexi?
I love roller coasters. I'm a very big adrenaline junkie. I like most rides. I don't like the ones that just go up and then like Tower of Terror, rest in peace, was like amazing. But the ones that just go up and drop once make my stomach feel weird. There's something about Tower of Terror that was special. But yes, roller coasters all the way. Favorite thing ever. Yeah.
I am not. When my family always says we're not from the rollers and we're not from the coasters. No one in my family likes roller coasters. The only ones I can handle are like for children, like young children. Anything with a loop, anything like that. I've done it like when I was like 16. I literally feel like I'm gonna die and I'm gonna fall and plummet to my death. So I do not like that feeling. So, I respect the roller coaster lovers. I am not one of them.
Briel, you and I can go and ride Small World over and over again. And
I love the teacups. Yeah, Small World. I love teacups. I like things that go around really fast. For me, I can't do this. I can do this all day.
Interesting. Those make me so sick. I can't do those ones anymore.
Yeah, I can do it. So anyway, Lexi, you are our winner. So you are the recipient of the Sam Garlick Excellence in Leadership Award. Let's put the award up there. And congratulations and mazel tov. Okay? You are the winner. All right. If there are no other questions from the audience, which I don't see that there are, I want to, again, thank everyone who's joined us for this episode of Before the Storm. Our next installment of our theatrical series, episode 5, will be released tomorrow, Tuesday, March 23rd. And episode 6 will be released on Wednesday, March 24th. So for more information about that, or if you haven't gotten your digital pass, you should get it. And you can go to townhalltheater with an re.com/FantasticLand. And yeah, I want to thank my guests for tonight, Shauna Satnick and Lexi Stein. And thank you to all the volunteers who helped put on this one-of-a-kind fundraising event for Town Hall Theater. Again, I'm Briel Pomerantz, and I'll see you in FantasticLand. Now stay tuned for next time on FantasticLand. Bye!
I don't know how many people you've interviewed, but I bet you aren't going to hear too many people say this.
I'm off the hook now in terms of going to jail, so I can tell you about the times people died.
He put his hand on my shoulder and he handed me the knife, and then he said, "Put her at peace, brother."
I saw a severed head, and Mark swore he saw a bandsaw, like the kind that his dad had in his garage, with blood all over it.
So all this might be my fault.
After the second stabbing, I realized I was in danger, and I was on the wrong side of the park.